Hello everyone. In today's video we are going to see how we can use the freeform deformers in 3D Studio Max. So here we are in 3D Studio Max. Let me create some object. So I'll create a box and create few copies of this object. Like this. Go to modifiers, then in the modifiers list you have the freeform deformers. In the freeform deformers flyout you'll get FFD 2x2x2, then 3x3x3, 4x4, and like that. So you have these 5 options. So we'll start with the first one, that is 2x2x2. So once you click on this 2x2, now you'll notice that this object is surrounded by a lattice. If I select the second one and I apply the another one, that is freeform 3x3x3, when we apply this 2x2x2, in that case we get 2 sets of control points. Down we have these, this is one set of control point. On top we have another set of control point. But when we apply 3x3, as you can see in the next box, you get 3 sets of control points. This is one in the top, one is in the middle, and one is at the bottom. So similarly, if you apply 4x4, 4x4x4, in that case you will get 4 set of control points over this object like this. So you have this one on top, one at the bottom, and 2 in the middle. So that is the basic difference between 2 into 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So now for the time being I'll delete these copies and keep only one box. Let's change the color of this box so that it becomes easier for us to see the control points. Now I have selected this object, and on this we have applied FFD 2x2x2. We'll open the stack here. Inside this we are getting 3 options, that is control points, lattice, and set volume. So when I select the first one, that is control points, it allows us to select these control points, these small squares. As you can see, you can select any of this and you can manipulate, you can transform this, you can move it, you can scale it, you can even rotate, you can even select multiple, like I have selected these 4 control points, and if I take the scale tool and scale, so like this you can scale. You can even use the rotate tool to rotate these control points like this, and with the move tool you can move these control points. And you will notice whenever we scale or rotate or move these control points, the object inside the lattice is also affected. So that is what happens with the FFD. Now if we move on to the second option, that is lattice. So once I click on lattice, you will notice that the entire lattice is getting selected. So when I activate this lattice option, this entire lattice is selected. So if I use the move command, see the entire lattice is moving like this. We can move the entire lattice, we can even move it out of the object. So the entire lattice we can move, or we can rotate, and we can even scale this, either uniform or non-uniform scale. So that is what we can do. I'll undo this and we'll get back to, we'll just put it back like this. In this you have one option that is called set volume. So when you select the set volume option, in that case what happens is you are allowed to move the control points, but the object inside the lattice is not affected. So let's select these control points, and I am moving the control points, but as you can see the object inside the lattice is not at all affected. So that is how these three option works. Now let me delete this and create another object and create another box, and over this we'll apply modifier, freeform deformers, and 4x4x4. Now, as I told you earlier, whenever we are using this option, we are getting 4 set of control points, one on top, one at the bottom, and 2 in the middle. We can select these control points and let's try to move it, but as you can see, it is not happening. For better deformation, make sure the object is having enough number of segments. So as you can see right now, I moved these control points, but the box is unaffected. So I'll go to box, and we can add some segments here so that we can achieve the desired output with the FFD. So I have selected these control points again, and see, this is what is happening. So whenever we are using the FFD, make sure the object is having enough number of segments. In case you are not satisfied with the deformation, you can just click on this option, that is reset. It will reset the geometry, and you can again try deforming the object. In the parameters, we have these options, that is display group, we have a deform group, and we have control point group. So we'll try to understand these options. Under the display, that is lattice, when I put it off, it will hide the lattice, but the control points are visible. We can select the control points and we can deform the object. The second option is source volume. If I go to set volume and I make some kind of changes here in the volume, as you can see, as I told you earlier, whenever we modify the volume, it doesn't affect the object. Now I have modified the volume of this FFD. Now over here there's one option, that is source volume. If I click on the source volume, it shows the original lattice. So when I click on the source volume, it shows the original lattice, and if I put it off, it will show the modified lattice. So that is how we can use the source volume. The deform group, we have something that is only in volume and all vertices. So only in volume is for that we'll have to move the lattice. Let's first of all make some changes in this object. For example, if I have selected these control points and if I pull them out like this, now I go to lattice, and in the deformation there is an option that is only in volume. So this entire object is under the influence of the lattice, but if I move this lattice down, you can see only that portion of the object which is under the influence of this lattice is now getting modified. Now because of this option, we have this option on, that is only in volume. So if I say all vertices, then in that case what happens, it doesn't matter which part of the object is under the influence of the lattice, the entire object is going to be affected. So I'll just go back and click on this option, that is only in volume. So that is also what we can do with this. Now we can click on the option as reset. Once I click on reset, you'll find all the control points are back to the original position, but the lattice which we have moved will not go back. We'll have to manually shift this thing up like this. So you've got one option, that is animate all. Now this animate all option is going to add 0.3 controllers to the control points for the animation. Now in this you've got one option, that is conform to shape. For this option conform to shape, I'll take another shape. Let's take one sphere, and on this we'll apply the modifier 4x4x4. Okay, once it is applied, you can see that the sphere is round, but the lattice surrounding this sphere is like a box or a cube. Once we click on conform to shape, this lattice will try to get the shape of this object over which it has been applied, like this. Now over here you have one option, that is offset. So offset is basically the distance between the surface and the control points. Just click on reset, and after reset let's introduce it to 0 and click on conform to shape. Now in that case you'll notice that the control points are has snapped exactly over on the surface of this object. So let's click on reset. If you want to keep the control points a little bit away from the surface, for that you'll have to increase the offset value. So 0.2 is the offset value right now, and if I click on conform to shape, you will notice that this lattice has taken the shape of the sphere, but the control points are a little bit away from the surface. So that distance is decided by this offset value. So I'll click on reset. So let's get rid of this. Okay, now let's try the modifier FFD box. Now when I click on FFD box, you get slightly more options in the parameters compared to the other three. In this you have one group, that is the dimensions group. Inside this you get a option to set the number of points. So click on this option, that is set number of points, and currently it has got length, width and height. You have got 4 points in length, 4 in width and 4 in height, but you can change these values in case you want more in the length. Say for example you want 7, so I'll type 7. In the width you want 2, so go 2, and in the height you want 3, so just type in 3 and click on OK. Accordingly the lattice will update. So this choice is not available for the FFD 2x2, by 2, 3 and 4. This is available only for the box and cylinder. So once you have created this lattice of your choice, then you have some other options over here, that is selection. So for the selection, now you can activate any of the axes. In this you have got 3 options, that is all X, all Y and all Z. So if I say all X, so I have activated all X. So in the stack we'll select control points, and when I hit any of these control points, since we have selected the option that is all X, instead of 1 it has selected all the control point in the X axis. So this one is selected and the other one is selected. Similarly, in case if I activate all Y, click on the control point like this, you'll notice that all these control points in the Y axis are selected. So see, like this. Suppose you have activated all Y and all Z. Now in that case, see what happens. Once I click on this control point, it is going to select first of all the segment in the Y axis as well as in the Z axis. So this entire set is getting selected, see. And in case not satisfied with the output, you can reset. In the deformation group you have 2 more options, that is tension and continuity. So by default the value is 25 for tension and continuity. Now tension is something that is going to push or pull the vertices of the overall object. So when I make it 0, in that case you'll find the object is squeezing, and let's slowly increase the value. The object is getting back to shape, and when we type in the value, maximum value, there's 50, the object is trying to come out of this lattice. So that is what happens to the tension. Next is continuity. The continuity decides the influence of the control points. So let's make it 0 again, and when I move it, see it has got less impact, and when I make it 50 or say like this, it will have a larger impact on the object. even the these vertices are also getting affected. So that is how we can use the continuity. Okay, now let's remove this freeform deformer and we can try another one, that is FFD cylinder. Now in this case what happens, we can see the object is surrounded by a lattice which is somewhat cylindrical. I mean, it's a hexagon. So we have option over here, that is set number of points. You can click on that and you can increase the number of sides to make it look like a cylinder. Let's make it 24 and click on OK. Now you can see the lattice is looking like a cylinder. So it has the same options which we have seen in the box FFD, and it works in the same way. So that's all about the freeform deformers. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.